honing steel and you just want to see if I know? Okay. How many of you know just a little bit and you hope to learn a lot more?
Me?
Or even a little bit more. Okay, perfect. How many of you don't know anything at all? All right. Yay. I call you my buddy. And I can train you exactly the way I want. Okay. So we're going to start with the knives today. And I've got some really fun, interesting history facts. Now, what is Tupperware well known for? Plastic and bowls. What are they not well known for? Steel. Okay. Well, guess what? Tupperware's not making their stainless steel. They knew they were best at plastic, but they went out and they found somebody who knew how to make knives. Our knives are made in Sakai City, Japan, a city who has been making swords and cutlery for 700 years. 700 years. They are made by K.A. Cutlery, who has been making knives and kitchen cookware items for over 90 years. Now, at 60 plus years, Tupperware knows what they're doing with plastic, right? Would you say that Tupperware found a company at 90 plus years that knows what they're doing with steel? Yes. K.A.I. Cutlery. And that will be on your handout on your CD.
Oh,
it's all there.
Oh,
You can find out more. Okay? So, our knives are made out of 420 composition Japanese stainless steel. It is in the top 10 for steels, but the best for making knives. Okay? It's not a gauge because our knives are not stamped out. They are not run down an assembly line and cut out by a cookie cutter. They are individually forged out of one solid piece of steel, and it is forced into the shape of the blade from tip to handle. So you don't have rivets, you don't have handles that are going to wiggle and loosen up on you right in the middle of that perfect, beautiful tomato flour. Your handle takes a bite, you don't have to worry about that. Okay? We have honing steel, a chef's knife, a bread knife, a filleting knife, a utility knife, two paring knives, and our scissors, our utility scissors. How many of you have one piece of our cutlery? Do you use it all the time? Yes. Awesome. The knife blocks and knives are designed so that if you're left-handed, you can put your blade to the left side of the block, so when you go to grab your knife, it's already comfortable in your hand. If you're right-handed, turn your blade to the right side of the block, and it, again, is comfortable in your hand. You don't have to really tension with it when you reach for it. So you can customize your block to your left or right intention. So, you hone your knife, which my honing steel didn't make it today, I apologize. So I'm going to try to show you with my finger. But I'm going to use the back side, okay? When you hone a knife, you hone from heel to toe or handle to tip at about a 45-degree angle. It's not hard. It's nice and light brush strokes across the honing steel. And a honing steel by itself will not sharpen a knife unless it has diamond qualities to it. Ours does, so we're good. But if for some reason yours doesn't, and you don't have the Tupperware honing steel, that's okay. Your Tupperware knives come really, really sharp, and a non-diamond honing steel will keep a sharp knife sharp. So make sure when you use your knives, you always hone before and after with a clean knife, because every time you cut through a piece of chicken, or you cut through an apple, or you cut through a lemon or an orange, or whatever it is you're working on, the very edge of your knife stands a little. You can't see it, but your food can feel it, and your table presentation will show that you don't have a sharp knife. So, when you're preparing your meals, make sure you hold before and after with a clean knife. How many of you have ever gone to the store and bought the most beautiful baguette, and you've got it home, and it's time to serve it up, and by the time you cut that baguette, you've served your family or your guests a bread pancake? Because you've squished it to the bottom of the table trying your best to get that steak knife or something else to go through that bite. Tupperware's taking care of that for you. It's a very comfortable handle with the serrated edge that's not going to make your baguette or French bread a pancake. It's going to cut each slice nice and evenly. You can hold it gently. You don't have to hang on for dear life and put your ringtails into the belly of it and squish it down below that. But the nice thing about this handle is it's designed to stay away from the cutting board. So as you come down, you're going to cut your bread, but not your knuckles. Okay? The black handle on these knives, not only is it a nice compliment to your knife, but it is actually a slip-free grip. Okay? just rinse it off as you're working with products. Grab one of our chef's towels or a microfiber towel, make sure your hands are dry. But if there's a little bit of moisture on your hands, that's okay. This non-slip handle is going to keep your hands safe in the kitchen while you're at home being your own little gourmet chef. The utility knife is wonderful. Have you ever had one of those little salads that have little segments in orange and there's no spine and there's no veins and there's no seeds and there's none of that pulpy white stuff that's real bitter? You can peel an orange right down to the very vein in between those orange slivers with our utility knife. You can cut a tomato so thin that your neighbors won't come back if you don't like them for a barbecue because, you know, they couldn't taste their tomatoes. Our 3-inch utility paring knife is ideal for pretty much anything you want to do in the kitchen. It's great for pouring, cutting and pouring your apples, going through those little veins. But if you are going to do your celery and things like that, you definitely want to use your chef's knife. Make sure you keep your fingers out. We want to lose them. And if you lose all 3 in the middle, then it's really hard to grab stuff. You should try it. Alright, so our knives are made by a company who knows steel for a company who knows plastic. So you have a wonderful companionship of lifetime warranties. Because our knives, like our plastics, are guaranteed for life. Okay? Remember, we'll have 5 minutes for questions. I'm going to move on to our cookware and hopefully cover all of your whims and bills and desires for learning how to use them. We have 5 minutes at the end of the demonstration, so write your question down, and then I'll get you a list right away. Perfect. All right. Unlike our knives, which do not have a gauge, our cookware does. Our cookware is made out of 1810 gauge stainless steel with a shiny mirror finish and a nickel-plated bottom. I'll explain why that will work to you in just a minute. Our cookware is designed with 1 layer of aluminum in between 2 layers of stainless steel from rim to base. What that means to you and to your customers is that you're going to have even heat distribution every single time you turn your stove on. So what that translates to is less energy. You never, ever, ever have to turn your burner on high. You don't ever want to turn your burner on high. You will scorch your dinner in about 2 seconds. The heat core is so smart, and anybody who has a piece of cookware at home, I want you to go home and try this. Get your cookware out of the cupboard or out from under the oven, wherever you keep it. Take an ice cube out of your freezer and drop your ice cube in your pan on your countertop. Count how many seconds it takes for that ice cube to disappear. Less than 30. Okay? This heat core is so good, it's faster than the ice cream scoop. Now, this is a big scoop of ice cream. So if you're doing ice cream, make sure you still use your ice cream scoop. But for cooking, this is wonderful. How many of you have little ones at home still? Or how many of you have grandkids that come over? How many of you ever feel like you're way behind the gun and you just don't have time and oh my gosh, you forgot to pull the chicken out of the fridge this morning? No problem. 2 hours before dinner, grab your frozen chicken breast or your pound of ground beef or your stew meat or whatever it is, put your pan on the countertop, throw your chicken in there and go finish your chicken. That heat core is going to help thaw that chicken and that meat in about 45 minutes. Because it's so smart, it knows, oh, there's something in there, I have to start working. And you're ready to go. You're ready to cook that meal. You don't have to worry about it. The covers are designed to be able to go into the oven from start to finish. The handles are hollow, so they're going to stay nice and cool when you're on the stovetop. The little bump on both the handle and the cover are designed as a safety for you. That is your thumb stop. Anything past that point, there you go. Your handles are riveted, so they, like the knives, are not going to fall apart on you. And they are also guaranteed for life. The covers are clear on some of them, so you can see what's happening on your stovetop. Stainless steel on the others, so that you can put them in like a Dutch oven into it. The stainless steel covers do have steam holes, so you want to make sure you turn those away from your handles so you don't hit your handles. Otherwise, your handles are going to be safe for you, so you don't have to fumble with other hands and walk around and lose your dinner because you had it slipped out of your hand. Okay? They're designed in a way with calibration, so you can save time in the kitchen on your saucepan, so you don't have to use extra measuring cups. It's already measured for you. It saves time and energy because you're not using extra dishes. And the mirror finish is so beautiful that you can take it right from the stove or the oven to your table because it comes with it. Take your time. It will give any tabletop presentation a finishing touch and make it absolutely gourmet beautiful at home with your friends and your guests, and your customers will not be sorry that they purchased this. So, now that you know a little bit more about Tupperware Stainless Steel Collection, I'd like you to remember this. Steel sharpens steel. Just like our knives, when you come into the Tupperware company, you will have an opportunity to sharpen your skills, sharpen your talents, sharpen your confidence. And with that result, you have nothing left but the beautiful shining finish in yourself, just like the mirror finish of our boots. So thank you very much for coming.